What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what just came out associated to the company, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 3.63%, 1026 the high, 953 the low. So for those of you that are kind of day traders, today would have been absolutely epic because the range right now is 7.52%. So definitely a lot of money to be made today, especially in Lucid's case, and even just generally as well, the broader market. We were very red and we just turned to green. So NASDAQ is up 0.12%, largely because of Saudi kind of signaling that they're going to be cutting production, oil production. So overall, market's kind of taking that as a very strong positive. But in Lucid's case, the reason why it's moving higher is because of this. So Lucid leadership to speak at the Cantor Global Technology and Industrial Growth Conference. So it looks like Mark, interim CEO, and 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧, CFO, is going to be participating in this. And so this is going to be held tomorrow, bright and early, 9:20 Eastern. So if you want, I can live stream it if that floats anyone's boat. But generally, this is pretty good. And I think historically, every time Lucid does participate in one of these fireside chats, typically Lucid does go up. I don't know if there's any coincidence to that or whatever, but it's kind of funny because over the weekend, I know Rivian did participate in several events and conferences recently. And so I was actually meaning to bring up how Lucid under Peter would participate in any and all conferences. So I think the timing of this is pretty epic, mind you. So this followed by their investor day on the 12th, I think that's going to be a pretty good back-to-back catalyst. Still, market conditions aren't the greatest. So today we really haven't had that much in data at all. Over the next couple of trading days, obviously we have some key ones that I already bring up in my weekend video, but right now the hot topic is Iran and how that is really affecting the broader market, how it's affecting oil. So oil is sitting at $94. Even during the overnight, it was at up 28% to about $116. So yeah, that spooked the market quite significantly, but NASDAQ and everything else is starting to recover. So I think just as well, high prices of oil is also indirectly luring individuals and investors to just EVs, because it's not just Lucid. We're seeing also Rivian in the green. So Rivian is up 2.57. So I think there was a lot of optimism, I think, initially from the get-go. Tesla, surprisingly, is in the red, 1.74%, but let me know your viewpoint on that. When it comes down to shorts, they're not really doing that much, and I think like the last week and a half, they really haven't done anything. They're probably just waiting for the investor day. That's going to be, in my opinion, the biggest catalyst for Lucid since Gravity launch. But right now, shorts are returning about 56,000 shares. 33.05% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 44.25 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average sitting at roughly 50%. That is an annual rate, not a daily rate. But DTC being at 7.26 or 7.27 does signal that shorts are relatively overextended. And again, I think I kind of did bring this up previously, but I wouldn't be surprised if shorts actually do return leading into now this big event tomorrow and also their investor day, just in case, right? There's Lucid, yes, hasn't always hit their marks and their targets, but they're one of those stocks that could easily go up with a good surprise catalyst. And I think shorts, especially back in 2023, they did get burned initially when that rumor of the PIF was going to take Lucid private. Like Lucid stock went up like 80% that day. So Lucid has proven that it can go up, and that kind of puts shorts in a little bit of a bind. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if shorts do return over the next couple of trading days. Looking at the options, 273,000 in calls, 738,000 in puts. So kind of low volume, but 47% of all the options being done are neutral in nature. Aside from that, from a bull standpoint, you see consensus for it to be roughly around 11. So definitely a lot of optimism is on the table. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of 9, and then you have this outlier right here for 650. So that could be potentially hedging, or it could legitimately be that some entities feel that Lucid is going to go down. It might not be because of their investor day or anything, but rather the market and just maybe possibly negative data. From the secondary market, we have two transactions, both are sells, so big money is not really buying, I guess, the Lucid dip. There is a lot of transactions occurring on the dark pool, as well as most likely algorithmic trading, but these two transactions, one was a sell for 580, the second sell for 102,000. Aside from that, these are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So a couple whole numbers, so some hedge funds are trading Lucid, but still nothing really significant. Once I go over the flow, it'll make a little bit more sense. But right now, with it at 10.12, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So it did momentarily break above this pivot, but clearly it is bouncing off this general range. I know it might be too much to ask, but best case scenario, if Lucid is able to close above that 10.18, then you could see a nice kind of push higher because of all that. 930 is that next strong support, and I'm looking at the 1-day chart, so these are very strong support and resistance points. And on a side note, with it having the low of 953, this is pretty much the third time over the last month that we have bounced off of that 950 range. So I think going forward, that's kind of a good thing. But aside from that, looking at the flow right over here, you see a lot of algorithmic trading. So that's where kind of that's coming into play. Just piggybacking clearly off of just a lot of articles coming out about how EVs are the way and the future, and I think that's just because of higher oil prices, and then Lucid putting out their news. One thing that probably should follow is a new rating by Cantor. So Cantor Fitzgerald, last rating did come out February the 25th, and that's where they did change their rating from $21 to $14. So realistically, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a new rating, let's say tomorrow or even the following day. So just kind of keep that in mind. And if it is extremely bullish, then that could, well, of course, help Lucid move up a little bit as well. So let me know your general thoughts on that. But aside from all of that fun stuff, right now, it is above that 10-day moving average. So that's sitting at 10.09. So that's going to be another element to kind of watch for. If it does break below that, then you might see a consolidation to around that 977, unfortunately. But as far as today, I think it's good to see Lucid is alive. And again, them putting out and participating in that fireside chat tomorrow, I think that's pretty good news. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Give yourself a shout out if you're buying into their investor day, or are you selling? What are you doing with Lucid? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.